Each year, Central New York families rely on the Food Bank of Central New York to help feed their families. Last year, it was a lifeline for tens of thousands of families across our community, providing them with more than 22 million pounds of food. And none of it can happen without the Food Bank's army of volunteers. Bundled up in the frigid cold, helping to feed hungry families in Syracuse, there's no place Robert Cooney of Baldwinsville would rather be.
And I'm just happy to be able to give back.
Cooney started volunteering a year ago when he retired from the restaurant business. He couldn't believe how much need was out there.
Just surprised at how many people are food insecure. I've never been food insecure in my life. I've always had a safe place to live, a safe source of food. Hundreds of families. And I had no idea.
Cooney is one of more than 600 volunteers the Food Bank of Central New York relies on to close that food gap. They are often found inside the Food Bank's warehouse packing bags of food that are given out to 10 Syracuse city schools, placed in children's backpacks every Friday throughout the school year. Together, they've donated nearly 7,000 hours of their time to help local families. And there isn't a day Cooney isn't touched by what he does.
It's hard not to get emotional about it, especially when you see the young ones. And it tugs at your heart, you know? No matter where you go, it doesn't matter rural or urban, the need is there.
On this day in December, Cooney was out at Belgrove Missionary Baptist Church in Syracuse, giving out food as part of the Food Bank's mobile food pantry. Car after car, looking for help, putting food on the table. Cooney says all of this is thanks to the generosity of Central New Yorkers, neighbors helping neighbors to make sure no one goes hungry.
The funds that you donate to the food bank go to purchase food that ends up on a truck like that and in the hands of these people that need it. So it's right here in the community.
It's what it's all about, neighbors helping neighbors. And this Thursday, we are going to do just that once again. CNY Central is teaming up with the Food Bank of Central New York and Terakai CX Tech, along with Cumulus Media, for the annual Help Fight Hunger Telethon. We will have more details, a phone number to call, a special QR code again this year. That's Thursday, all day, 5 a.m. until 8 p.m.
Powerful to see the volunteers so committed and so personally touched by what they're doing.
Alrighty, a great winter hobby can be found nearby. Speedy's Fast Lane over in Solvay offers slot car racing on multiple tracks and also a straightaway for drag racing as well. Now, races are even available for all skill levels. Our Brandon Roth is live in Solvay. He's taking a look at the tracks this morning. Brandon, good morning to you.
Good morning, Frankie. How great is this? If I had this when I was a little kid, I would have lost my mind. Sean Wiegand here. This is so great. You have 3 different slot racing tracks.
Yes.
And a drag racing track.
Yep.
And let's take a look here at the cars for people. Just tell them this is something that you have all ages. You have grandfather, son, and grandson all coming in.
Yes, absolutely. We have all kinds of age groups. You know, it's pretty simple. You know, it's pretty easy to get the hang of, especially for the kids. You know how kids are these days.
Yeah, and I love how affordable it is. We should say that you're right here in Solvay on 1st Street.
It's actually 2nd Street.
2nd Street, okay.
Yep, 102 2nd Street
So
in
easy
Solvay,
to
New York.
find. You just come right off. And then you have the 3 tracks. We're taking a look now. This is your real big track.
Yep.
And you have people that come from all over. You have a big event coming up next February.
Yes.
So it's adults are into it too, and they can actually make their own model cars.
Oh yeah. You know, you got a bunch of guys. You know, you can get a ready-to-run car, but a lot of the guys that do a lot of the traveling, you know, that's where you get into where they're building their own cars, and you know.
But you don't have to have a car to come here.
No.
You can come rent a car.
Yeah, absolutely. We have cars and controllers.
I love all the little details. Dennis is getting a shot. You can see here they have the whole infield. All the different details.
Yeah, I try to make it as realistic as, you know, real racing as we possibly could over here on the oval track, you know.
And you are open from 4 to 9 o'clock at night, every night.
Yep.
Except Tuesday.
Except for Tuesday, yes. Saturday and Sunday we open up about noon because we figured being on a weekend that way it gives people time if they want to come in early.
And again, just $10 you can do it all day.
All day.
I love the affordability, and it's a great hobby for the whole family.
Yeah.
So if you want to check it out, again, you can check it out here at Speedy's Fast Lane in Solvay. It is slot car racing for kids of all ages. Frankie? I am loving this.
Well, listen, let me tell you something.
Right there, look at that.
Sign me up for this. I had one of these, a smaller version that sprawled over my parents' living room back in the 90s. I can handle anybody with this.
I know, we're really, we're lucky too. They're one of the few in New York State. Right
Really?
here, one of the few in the Northeast. You got slot car racing
Listen.
right here. Frankie, I'm going to take you on. We're going to come out here and
okay.
race.
Oh, I'll meet you there. I'll
Look
meet
at
you there. All right, Brandon. Okay, let's shift on
All right,
over
buddy.
to consumer news.
Well, thank you, Peter. Continuing our Crisis in the Classroom reporting tonight.
The Tully School Board is hiring a private lawyer now to investigate the issue involving senior Tyler Johnson. Johnson tells us he was censored by the district when he tried to share challenges he's overcome because of his sexuality. Dozens of supporters from his school and the community spoke out during a school board meeting last night. Investigative reporter Mary Keeler has been following this story from the beginning. She joins us in studio tonight. Mary?
Well, Megan, last night the Tully superintendent of schools faced calls for his resignation, but also outlined his plans to do staff training and fund a Gay Straight Alliance Club in the district's budget. Now the Central New York community is watching to see what changes come from these words. Jamie Olden is a Canastota native and a board member of LGBT Syracuse, a group of people who advocate for the LGBTQ community.
Support and resources, and we want to be a voice and, a positive platform for those in need.
She says she's been following the Tully district and what's happened since Tyler Johnson made a TikTok video claiming his superintendent and high school principal silenced him over his sexuality. He responded to a school newsletter prompt about overcoming challenges in life. He said for him, it was coming out as gay. He was told he couldn't write about that.
This isn't an isolated incident, and this isn't the first time these individuals in this school have fostered homophobia and other types of discrimination, but it must be the last.
Since then, there's been calls for the superintendent and the high school principal to resign over their decision. And Tyler, as well as students, parents, and other community members, came out to Monday night's board meeting. Some mentioned worries over teen suicide and mental health.
Children lose their lives over situations like this. Suicide rates in the LGBT community are extremely high.
The Trevor Project, a national organization, has research from a 2021 survey that shows 42% of LGBTQ youth considered attempting suicide in the past year. Olden says this is a moment that Tully school leaders can turn into a positive path forward for not only Tully but other school districts who may face similar situations.
What if Tyler didn't make that TikTok video and it didn't, reach all ends of the country? If he hadn't, would this have continued? So, yeah, I definitely hope that the Tully School District can use this to learn how to do this right.
And Julie Olden says that she came out when she was a teenager and says it's so important for kids to have the safety net at school and in their community to live how they want to. Meantime, the superintendent says he'll have more information on the district's efforts on diversity, equity, and inclusion at the next board meeting in February.